Allie, I want to show you a really, really good way to gaslight your users, to hide features, to increase cognitive load, and decrease your users' ability to just use your system.
Wow,
You
my
wanna see what
dream.
that looks like?
Teach me. Yes, please.
Let's look at what that looks like because it is a nightmare, okay? And sometimes this ends up happening. We're going to talk about this, but like sometimes this ends up happening because of just complete accidents, right? Just arbitrary right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. And sometimes this happens because of requests that come from the business, all right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And we need, as user experience designers, when those requests come to the business, this is what we should do to increase this metric, all right? And intuitively, you're like, I don't think that's very good UX.
Uh-huh.
But you need really good ammunition. You need really good ammunition to say, okay, here's what we are sacrificing. If we do this, is this worth the sacrifice? And say to the end, we've got 4 arguments, okay, for with this particular scenario, when you get kind of put in a corner to design something that you're like, I don't know if that's good or not. Here are 4 things that you can say to make sure that whatever that request is, that we can actually fight back with it and make sure that our business stakeholders are making a really, really informed decision.
Yes. Stake your ground, UXers.
Stake your ground.
Stake your ground. Stand your ground. I don't know. Stand your ground, UXers.
Okay. So let me tell you a story with our friends over at Instagram.
We've been liking Instagram for our reels and stuff and for sharing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the storytelling. So you've been doing a lot of reels and I'm finally like, okay, like this is just a storytelling methodology. I've had some mindset shifts around and now I started creating reels. I'm like, oh, this is so fun. This is such a fun little medium to tell stories and to get content out and to get a message out. So I just started playing with reels in earnest a couple weeks ago and I posted a reel and then I was looking at it as you do, like after it's posted to like make sure it's all good. And I see a typo in the caption. And I'm like,
in there.
Oh, shoot. Typo in the caption. And I was like, let me go and edit this reel. Where is the edit button?
Oh.
So I was seeing it in the feed. And so I tap into it and there's no edit. And I was like, and it's a lot of stuff in that menu. And I was like, are you serious? I can't edit like after I'm posted. I can't edit. I was like, well, I do know that CTA menus change, right? So I was like, well, maybe this is broken. Maybe I can edit it somewhere else. So like a lot of people would just be like, it's totally
gaslighting you here.
Totally. I'll tell you when I was really gaslit though. That happened a couple days later. All right. So I was like, well, this is like one of my first reels. This is a pretty bad typo. Like I am just going to delete it and recreate it. And I did. I deleted the entire reel. I took like an extra 15 minutes out of my life to recreate it. You can't even copy and paste the caption. So I had to like, what did I do?
You had to rewrite
took a screenshot. I think I rewrote it or I took a screenshot and like put it in AI to be like, can you type this? I forgot what I did. And then a couple days later, I'm in another reel of mine and I press the kebab menu, apparently in a different context, to do something else.
Shut up.
I was like trying to, hide likes. I was trying to hide likes because, we always hide likes, right? Like this is a whole other conversation about Instagram about why we have to hide likes on every single thing individually and not at our account level. That's a different video. That's a different video. So I press the kebab and I see this menu and I see edit on there. And I was like, what the actual F? Like what? I swear edit was not here before. This is when I feel really gaslit, right? I'm like,
well, especially after you
I know it was there. It was not there. Yeah, I redid the video. And so I was like, am I just so dumb? I just did it. So I feel dumb.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a second. I have different context here. We're going to look at this in a second to see all the CTA menus next to each other so you can see the crazy that is in Instagram. Okay, so I just posted this and I go into full screen to like see how it looks. And I'm looking at the caption and let's say I see a typo in that caption. So I hit the kebab menu and here are my options. No edit. Like
nothing.
There's no edit. Okay. So I'm like, all right, maybe if I go to my profile, like it's like edit is there or something. So it's in that just watch. So I do a long press on that to be like, I want to edit this thing right here. Right here, I want to edit. No.
No. Which
Edit
I've never done that long press. Wow.
It's like a very direct manipulation thing. I like the long press. It's like, oh, this is the thing that I want to edit. So there is something nice and intuitive about it. I go back to this. I'm like, are you sure
there?
it's not there? Is it there if I'm like looking at it over here?
I would even forget I've looked there. There's so many places to look. Yeah.
There's so many places to look. Now, here's what I have to do. So I'm in the reels. I go over to my grid.
Stop. No.
And when I open it up in my grid, you can see the kebab is in a different place. It's at the top. And there's edit. And I have a bunch of other stuff. So now I can go in here and I can actually go in and I can edit the typo and add a nice little hyphen under.
That is wild. You're just looking at it in a different view. It's like your grid view versus the real view. Like, why is it not the same?
I know. Well, it's because, in the grid view, it opens up into what I'll call
like
the detail view.
Oh, the detail view. Okay.
And then when you're in the reel, it opens up in another detail view, which I'll call the full screen detail view.
Gross.
So they're both kind of details because you can see everything in there. So like it is kind of like, or like a mega card, you can call the other one.
They've introduced this complexity with a post versus a reel, and having one list shows them all, and then you just have the filtered just reel only list. But you should still be able to act on it in the same way.
Yeah.
If you can edit it one place, you should edit it somewhere else.
We need the same menu.
Same menu.
Everywhere. So let's look at this.
Yes.
Let's look at this side by side. So it gets even crazier. Okay. So the long press on the grid, we actually end up with small differences here as well. Long press on the profile main grid and long press on the profile reels grid. And I'm going to let this one slide, okay? Because the only difference is pinned to your main grid or pinned to your reels. Okay, now if this was me designing it, I would just put them both in both places. But I get that. We've got a little bit of contextual design here. If I'm in the main grid, I want to pin to main grid. If I'm in the reels grid, I want to pin to the reels.
Okay. Yeah, not too bad.
We'll let that one slide. Okay. Now let's go over here. This is where my main issues lie. Okay. The kebab on the feed, which I'll just call that the detail, or like we can call it a mega card. It's like you still see the whole thing though. And then there's the kebab in reels. So not only does it change position, it's like at the top versus the bottom, which affects your muscle memory. We could probably do better with that. But the real issue here is how different the actions are. Okay.
I mean, drastically. Look at how many more you get. Wow. Okay. And they're reordered too. Like shared to Facebook is now like fourth down. Ugh. Whoa.
Boosting it is different. So you can see boost reel, and at least like the icons are the same. We've looked at shape-shifting CTA menus before where even the icons change, even in big brands like Google, Apple. Like
I think Facebook was doing that when we looked at Facebook Marketplace. That was also a good video to go and look at. Oof.
Yes, definitely. And the icons were changing. And this is where we're seeing like the shipping of the org chart. Like you're just literally seeing like the silos play out in the myopic design that designers are being asked to do, where they're asked to like, just change this one little thing here, but don't think about anything else. And what we're getting is we're not getting that nice holistic design, and we get a lot of cognitive load for the user. So at least our icons are the same. But like, why? Just on the feed, I can turn off commenting. Can't turn off commenting over here, but I can turn off reuse over here. Okay, I can turn off reuse over here, but it's also in a different order. Okay. Like insights is first over here, but insights is below over here. Like even just the ordering is so different. And it just seems so arbitrary. Like there is nothing in me that I'm like, oh, well, if I'm on the feed, all of a sudden insights becomes so much more important than if I'm in this view over here. Like, what?
I noticed something here. There's a manage with an arrow on that one that you're on there for the full screen detail. Is that where all the manage stuff is hidden? Like edit and unhide light? Like, did they shove it all under there?
Oh my God. Allie, I didn't even see it.
I mean, it's not good.
I don't even know. If it's there, like, I'm going to feel even more gaslit and stupid right now if it's there. But like, didn't even see that there's like a little manage thing because I'm like, maybe it's there.
It's there. I'm going to put this in the screen. This gets even gross because I think there's even more stuff and different things.
Oh my God, I didn't even see it. I
Let
literally just had
me-
blindness to it. Like I was like,
Wow.
and
I mean-
I honestly like, and I just spent like 30 minutes analyzing this, even just to prepare
Exactly.
for this
Isn't it
video.
wild?
Like, so we just
Okay.
know like people aren't going to see that stuff, right? And I'm like a relatively intelligent person and observant person.
You
like,
were literally
we're ju-
dissecting the UX.
what
and
is it? Turn off commenting, hide likes, hide share.
So I
Okay.
see what the
So
the
it's
designers
there.
did. They're like, oh shit, look at all these things we have to put in here. We'll put it under a manage, but we're not going to do the same pattern, which they should have done, I would say, to make the experience similar, right? Is
Oh
have
my
still a
gosh.
manage on the other one.
Like pin to your reels.
Is that
And
even
is that
into
even
main grid?
pin to the
Okay.
main grid versus pin to reels? Like this is way over engineered. Okay. Like
Right.
literally everybody worked, too many people were working on this, working way too hard. Like we needed one menu. Literally the same menu could even be used over here. Like it just like scrolls. Like, I mean, we could figure that out. Like that's not even that hard. Like it could be the exact same thing with maybe small contextual pieces. And if there is a contextual change, like remove from main grid or pin to main grid versus pin to reels, I would like change the visual design of that. I would actually move that to the top, and that would be the thing that's like kind of chunked out on its own because it's the thing that's contextual and different. And then
And different,
everything
yeah.
else, same order, the same. If we want to do some progressive disclosure, do the progressive disclosure the same way in the other place. Like this makes me even like,
Edit is a common call to action that people are going to look for. So I feel like there's no consideration of the frequency in which someone might need these things. Like, sure, put the settings that turn off GIFs that I'm not going to use all the time, but edit?
yeah,
Edit? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like hiding the delete button.
hide like
delete
literally
gets
every
first
time
class there.
after you post a reel, the first thing you do is you have to go and hide likes because you can't hide
There's
it
no
while you're
universe.
editing it. As far as I know, you have to post it and then you click hide likes. So like having this and honestly, sometimes you're viewing it, you are viewing it in the full screen right after you post it.
And one more thing
and
I just hate about this is I can't, we have screenshots of this, but it is not clear which one, am I looking at the real view or the post view? Like, I'm kind of just confused myself because there's no context of where did I come from for this menu.
Right. But when we get to what it looks like when I'm interacting with somebody else's reels, I'm seeing more inconsistencies, and some of them are completely arbitrary. Like, for example, the differences between a long press on your profile main grid mini card and a long press in the profile reels grid.
What? You can only report a reel. I mean, but they're both reels. Oh my gosh. What?
They're both reels, right? So why would I not want to be
It's the
perfect?
same
If this was a post or something, I might want to report that as well. So the inconsistency here feels really arbitrary and really silly. We get additional inconsistencies here on the kebab on the feed versus the kebab in the reels rabbit hole. Okay.
Okay.
And again, some of these feel really arbitrary, like QR code is up here versus down here. So like some positioning issues, closed captioning, you can see changes, translations, like things just change. Also, if I'm on the feed, I get actions here that are actually not related to the reel. They're related to the account. Okay. And this is another problem where we sometimes, when we are not really thinking about this verb belongs on this object, we can actually end up putting some verbs on the wrong object.
Like unfollow reel. That's what it makes. I mean, this action is on the reel, this individual instance of a reel.
Or like remove from favorites. Like, am I removing the reel from it? You have to know that like, oh, I favorite people, but I save and bookmark posts. Okay. So there's something, we could put this all in the same menu, but what I would do here is like this about this account. I would move that to the top and I would group those together to really show like about this account. Okay. Remove from favorites and or even say unfollow this account or remove this account from favorites.
Easy.
So it's really, really clear. So it can still go in the same CTA menu, but just know that like that's going to create a little bit of cognitive dissonance. that they click on the reel and now they're getting CTAs about the account,
Mhm.
not the reel. Okay. So that's another issue here. But then I'm seeing some things that I'm like, this might have been intentional. Okay. So everything we've talked about so far, I'm pretty sure is completely unintentional, arbitrary, easy fixes. But it becomes not so much of an easy fix when you get inconsistencies that the business actually asks for.
Ooh. Yeah. So
Like,
what
for
is
example,
hide? Yeah.
yeah, you get hide if you're in the feed, but you get interested if you're in Reels, like if you're in the Reels rabbit hole. And so this is like almost the same icon. This is the same post, by the way. It's not like I've selected this one as interested. It's not like this is a toggle. Like this is the same exact post. And yet I get hide over here and interested over here. And to me, this is like, there is some business conversations going on behind closed doors about engagement or about some sort of business metric. And they have seen a slight increase in X, Y, or Z based on having this CTA versus this CTA. So what do you do as a designer in this scenario when a business person is asking for an inconsistency and you're like, I don't think that's right. So where we need as user experience designers, it's our job to have a really good defense and make sure from the business perspective, they are recognizing the trade-off, right?
Yep.
And as servant leaders, which I think UX is like, that is, we need to step more and more into that servant leadership of saying like, hey, let me give you this piece of information too, so that you can make a really, really informed decision on whether it's worth it to like, let's just say there is some sort of business argument for putting hide in one place and interested in one place. We need to have a really good argument to say, this might not be so great for the end user, because just being like, oh, this doesn't feel right, or I don't think so, or there's something like intuitively that I feel is wrong with this is not a good enough argument. Even if somebody has a reason, like they're like, oh, well, this is better from the business perspective. Here's what we want to present back. This is what we are sacrificing, okay? And we want to say like, is it worth it? Is this worth the sacrifice? So number one, it can make your users feel gaslit. Not only dumb because it was in one place but not the other place, but literally like, you tricked me.
Yeah.
Like, you are tricking me. I know it was there. Why is it not there now? Okay. This is the last thing we want our users to feel about our product. All right. We do not want them to have these really negative feelings toward us. Like when I deleted that post and then I saw edit later, like I hated Instagram.
Yeah.
I hated them. And as we know, when we get gaslit, that is one of the least favorite feelings. So it's the feeling. Okay. So when we introduce that, we move things around, even if it's like for their benefit, right? Because, oh, it's more important here. What it also ends up doing, and I'll jump to this number two, it's decreasing your user's ability to use their muscle memory. So even if I'm like, oh, the QR code is more important here and less important here, if I kind of remember where the QR code is, I'm having to use cognitive load every single time. So even if like it's slightly more important here and less important here to some users, like still in general, keeping it consistent is going to be better because we can learn where things are and we can use our muscle memory. But let's say I want to remove the ability to download. That was only in one place. I've already forgotten where it is. So I now have to memorize or write it on a freaking sticky note and like put it here, like, oh, if you want to remove downloads, make sure you go to like your grid and then open it up and like spin 3 times
and just wait
while
for it
you're
to
holding
change.
your breath and patting your head or something.
Yeah. And just wait for it to change because those directions are going to be obsolete when they change it up again and add a new thing.
Yeah. Or A/B test on me or something like that. So you're asking people to memorize, and we do not want to ask our users to memorize. And this goes hand in hand with the muscle memory, but like these are two different things. And then the last one that we want to really watch out for is if we create these broken objects or the feature is only in one place, but not in the other place. This is what happened to me. Users might think it just doesn't exist. So you might actually be hiding that feature because like I've already explored the kebab. I already know what's in the kebab. So if I see the kebab in this other place, I'm not even going to click on it because what I'm going to assume is the kebab is going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And when your kebab does different things in different places, I'm just going to shut down. I'm going to be like, oh, it's not there. It's not there. I could have gone months without even knowing that I could edit a reel. So we just need to remember we're always teaching our users. And like, what are we teaching them? We are like, as they are using, they are learning. We're their little sponges and they're learning and we're pattern recognition. And we're going to try to apply those patterns wherever. And when we consistently are inconsistent and break those patterns, then I am actually learning something as a user. I'm learning something in one place and then I can't apply my learnings in another place.
Yeah.
And that's very, very frustrating.
Ugh,
So
what a good
Instagram, one menu to rule them all, please.
Please, please,
Please.
save us from as we go make more reels.
So,
What a
by the
good
way, follow us on Instagram. So we'll put it on the screen somewhere. And I hope you enjoy our reels. We're working really hard on them.
All right.
Happy
Cheers.
OUXing. Bye.